Him was actually a really good movie and I really enjoyed it. But I truly think that people are struggling to engage with like original feature films because we are stuck in the land of the remake. But let's get into why I actually like the film. This is a very layered watch. I will say I think the central message of this movie is that wherever you find centralized power, there will always be some type of exploitation or spiritual ritualistic behavior, right? Wherever you see power in a vacuum or like the hoarding of resources or like something that reminds you more of like a pyramid scheme where the people at the top benefit the most through the exploitation of the people at the bottom, there's usually physical, spiritual, social, psychological siphoning of that energy towards the top of that pyramid, right? And no matter how you look at it, being rich and wealthy in our society, there's always going to be exploitation of some type. I think in the same way that sinners kind of looked at the way centralized power and spiritual evil work within the realm of the real world, you know, in many cases, you have to invite the evil in. And this movie looks at inviting evil in, but through the lens of someone else making that decision for you. So what does it look like when your parent or your guardian or someone else makes the decision that your body, your essence, your physical dwelling will be the source of someone else's exploitation for these vacuums of power and money and hoarding of resources? And if I'm honest with you, just based on how the director and writer of this movie looks, this was a very bold undertaking. He is working with a lot of very Americana motifs, a lot of very spiritual and Black spiritual motifs in this movie, and a lot of, you know, race theory, like just outright, you know, a lot of Black American and just Black body exploitation messaging all throughout the movie. And so this was very bold of an undertaking. And, you know, it makes me want to dig more into the writer and the director of this film to see where he even got a lens for this type of story to be told. Some more lighter parts of this layering includes, you know, the crazed fans representing like the crazed fans of the NFL who buy into this pyramid of exploitation, that Last Supper of Jesus Christ showing the transition of power happening in his life in that moment. Also, the cycle of grooming was brought up a lot. We saw a lot of hot and cold with Isaiah, who was Caden, the main character's idol growing up. So those moments of love and warmth followed by pushing his human limits was commonplace within this movie. And most importantly, I don't know if everybody picked up on this, but Caden's father was absolutely killed by the league in an effort to get him to continue playing football. So in case you missed that, I want to throw that in there as well. And I do agree, the ending felt a little bit rushed, but I will say that for me, the ending just represented a reclamation of power, making a different choice with the power given to you, a refusal to be used or to become a cog in the machine. It also represented just how easy it actually is to not be a cog in the machine, and that we do have more power over the choices that we make. I will say the ending might have felt a little bit rushed. I could agree in that front, but I will say the acting was superb. I always said before I even saw the movie that I love seeing Marlon Wayans in more serious roles. I think that a lot of people was a little bit displeased with maybe his comedic timing, because we're used to seeing him in a comedy role. But I will say, watching this movie, that comedic timing just added to the pressure cooker that is walking through the steps of this ritual as we're watching the movie, right? It's adding to the discomfort. It's adding to the highs and lows of the grooming cycle. And so I think that the comedic timing was perfectly placed on his part. I think the acting from everyone in the movie was absolutely phenomenal. Again, the ending was a little rushed, but I wasn't dissatisfied with it. I think that if you can get past all of the demonry and the spiritual motifs, you can absolutely enjoy this movie in the same way that we enjoyed Sinners. But for a lot of people, this will be a no, especially if you are a super Christian girly. Just putting it out there, because it's whole lotta. But I really enjoyed the movie. You guys let me know how you felt about this movie down below in the comment section. I'll catch y'all next time. It's your favorite humanities hottie.